view this as your first video for math. It's more of just a warm-up, really. I want to make sure you know how to do these things. When I put a problem up, I want you to pause it and then solve, and then you can press play and watch how I do it and make sure that you get the correct answer. It's basically going to be just 3 problems. Problem number 1 is, actually let me, 15 squared. So you can put it on pause and then solve it. Press play when you're ready. Okay, for 15 squared, all that means is 15 times 15. Hopefully you have this memorized. If you don't, you can think about it, and I'll solve it over here in black. Why is it so big? 15 times 15. Say you can't do that. Then you would think about it, and I'll show it here on the right. 15 times 10, which equals 150. And it might be even faster doing it this way anyhow. But it's not 15 times 10, it's 15 times 15. So you need to multiply it by 5 more than 10. So 15 times 5, you might have to actually do 25. So that's 75. So it's 150 plus 75. 5, 12, that's 225. If you know how to multiply, then you would do it over here. And if you don't, you should pay even closer attention. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2. Then 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. Now you multiply it by the ones place, so you're multiplying it by the tens place. We can get rid of our placeholder there. We put a placeholder here because now it's in the tens place. It's the same idea as multiplying by 10. Now 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. Add it up. Notice you're adding the same thing. 5, 12, 225. All right, let's go to the next problem. The next problem is 182 divided by 14. If you think you can solve this, then press pause and solve it. If you need another hint, then you can keep pressing play. I'm going to review it in a moment, so make sure that you're ready to go. The hint is to think about it as 14 times what equals 182. The first thing you should do is know in your head, or think about it, that 14 times 10 equals 140. Well, we need 42 more than that, so how many 14s is that? I'm not sure, but I know, well, I'm going to try around 3. So let's see, 14 times 3, 12, well, that's 42. And that's exactly what we wanted. So it's like 14 times 10 and 14 times 3. And that would give us 182. So it's like multiplying 14 times 13. Now let's check it. Let's try it. You know it needs to be bigger than 10. Alternatively, you could just do guessing and checking, because it's not that much bigger than 10. 14 times 13. You would almost put this aside for a second. It's just doing 14 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. Placeholder, because now you're going to multiply it by that tens place. 4 times 1 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 2, 8, 1. 14 times 13. So the answer to this problem is 13. All right, problem 3. And I want you to go ahead and solve this now. You have to write it step by step. Step by step. 32 times b equals 192 divided by 16. I'll associate those even though they don't need to, because you would go left to right, times 8. I want you to solve it step by step. If you want to check after each step, you can, because I'm going to start solving it. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is solve 192 divided by 16 off to the side. I know that 16 times 10 equals 160. So 192 divided by 16 will be bigger than 10. So I want 32 more than 160, because 192 is 32 more than 160. Well, that's like 2 16s. So I'm just going to automatically try 16 times 12. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Placeholder, because now I'm multiplying by the tens place. 6 times 1 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. And that's 192. And you could have thought 16 times 2 times 10 is 160. 16 times 2 equals 32. And you would have gotten 192. So I'm going to rewrite that step. 32 times b. After each thing you solve, you rewrite it. Equals 192 divided by 16, we said was 12 times 8. So now, the next step you're going to do, if you're watching it step by step, you're going to hit pause here and do 12 times 8. Or if you're reviewing it, I'll just check over here, 12 times 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So I'm going to rewrite the steps. 32 times b equals 96. Now I need to think 32 times 10 is 320. So we're looking at a lot smaller. Well, you should almost be able to figure this out in your head. And if you haven't yet, press pause and figure it out. I'll try down here. 32 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. And therefore, b, 32 times 3 equals 96. So b is equal to 3. Not so hard. That was part 1. Be ready to solve these. You're going to have a homework assignment that has problems like this. You can rewatch the video if you need to.